Aisha, a young woman from Bangladesh, was sold by the man that she believed loved her. He told her that they had to run away together because he was twice her age. He took her to a house and claimed that it belonged to his aunt. Aisha was told that she would be there for a few days until her parents would stop looking for them. After she saw the other girls in the house, she asked his aunt. When she did, she was told that the man that she thought loved her had sold her into prostitution. The aunt turned out to be a brothel madam. In order to break Aisha in, she was raped several times a night for a month, and then she began being sold to men. On most nights, she was sold to 10 to 12 men, many of which were abusive. She was beaten with leathery belts and still bears the scars. Aisha was cut on her neck by a knife while trying to protect a young girl, and she almost died. She ended up having 3 children while in captivity, 2 daughters and a son who suffers from autism.
Thousands of men, women, and children are taken and sold into slavery every year. More than half of the yearly profits come from industrialized countries. The average price of a slave is $90 US.
600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked across international borders yearly, the majority being women and children. 1 in 6 endangered runaways become involved with human trafficking.
The average age for a teenager in trafficking is 14 years old, and many of which are runaways that experience sexual abuse as children.
13 million children are enslaved today. Usually, they are used for sexual exploitation, forced labor, slavery, or for the removal of valuable organs.
Traffickers earn 10 to 20 times the amount of what they paid for the victim.
There are more slaves today than in the entire recorded human history. Sometimes the victims are sold into slavery by their family members.
Sex traffickers find many people online through adult-oriented websites. Human traffickers are increasingly trafficking pregnant women for their newborns. Babies are sold on the black market, where the profit is divided between the traffickers, doctors, lawyers, border officials, and others. The mother is usually paid less than what is promised her, citing the cost of travel and creating false documents. A mother might receive as little as a few $100s for her baby.
Human trafficking is the 3rd largest international crime industry and earns about $32 billion a year.
Human trafficking is seen as the biggest violation of human rights in the history of mankind. Trafficked children are treated as criminals even though the federal law classifies anyone under 18 years of age a victim.
Almost 6 in 10 identified trafficking survivors were trafficked for sexual exploitation. Slave owners use euphemisms instead of directly calling their victims slaves in order to avoid being caught.
Victims of slavery can be as young as 5 or 6 years old. They are often starved and locked away without attention for days on end.
When it comes to relationships between recruiters and victims, 54% are complete strangers and 46% know each other.
There are around 30 million slaves in the world today.
80% of human trafficking is for sexual exploitation, and 19% is used for forced labor.
Even though sex trafficking is the majority of slavery, the drive for labor trafficking is beginning to rise.
Pimps often tattoo their victims with an identifying symbol so that they're easy to locate. They often resemble ordinary tattoos, but there are certain characteristics that make them stand out. Recruiters use many methods to find women and children, some of which are the lover boy method, which is where they start a relationship with their victim and then sell them, recruitment for false jobs, recruitment for prostitution, and recruitment for video chat.
Human trafficking affects virtually every country and every region of the world. Between 2010 and 2012, victims with 152 different citizenships were identified in 124 countries across the globe.
To do your part, visit thepolarizedproject.org, join the fight, and tell Michigan's State Attorney General Bill Schuette to stop human traffickers. Express your concerns and send them to 3030 Grand Boulevard, number 10-200, Detroit, Michigan 48202.